Okay folks, today we're going to be building this 1/48 scale B-339 Buffalo from the Pacific Theatre. I'm going to do the one from the box art, which is from the New Zealand Air Force. They use the British markings, hence why it looks like a British plane when it's not. It's actually New Zealand. Not too sure on the actual details why they use British markings. I think it's something to do with the government and stuff and Commonwealth or whatever, but that's politics. I'm not going to get into that. But we're going to do this kit. Let's do this. Okay folks, we're going to start this aircraft, and these are the first sections I'm going to be working on, which is the part of the cockpit. So this is the cockpit backrest for the seat. There's the seat, headrest. One of the instrument panels, this goes onto here for some levers. This piece here, I'm going to drill out those holes and it sits on here as a cluster of instrument panels. This is a separate radio type box that goes on the inside of the aircraft. This is the pedals and the instrument cluster, or that instrument dash dials, sits up the top here. So I'm going to go ahead and paint these sections and then glue these together. This is a green, this is black, this is black with silver, this is silver, this is radio equipment's black, this is silver, that's black, this, as I say, this was green, the seat's green, the headrest is green with a black cushion. So I'm going to paint these colours and I'm going to assemble it, and then I'll show you what that looks like. Okay folks, I've gone ahead and drilled out those holes. It gives it a little bit more life instead of being closed up, so a little bit more detail. Okay folks, as you can see, the interior is done. The black segments are done on the seat. You've got the black segments and the green on the inside. Same on the other side. Silver pedals, the silver seat. Inside the wheel well is going to be the green on both sides. I've done it on the other wings as well, the green. Radio box, and the other side. These black segments, once they're all dry, I'm going to dry brush a grey over it. And the same as the dash, I've got to put the decals in there, and there's a couple of decals that go on the inside. Once this segment's all dry, we're going to do the dry brushing and then assemble it, and then I'll show you what that looks like. And it'll be roughly a completed cockpit, and then it's ready for washes and whatever. Okay folks, I've gone ahead and scratch built some seats. It's not perfect, but it gives it a little bit more life than having nothing in the seat at all. What I used was Tamiya tape to make the straps. Painted them with buff colour, which is like a cream, and then the actual buckle clamps pieces, whatever you want to call them, I've used 0.3mm chain links, and then painted them silver and then put them into the seats. Because the tape is sticky on one side, all you do is just stick it to the bottom of the seat and the back of the seat and just wrap it round. Give it a little bit of a wash, and there's custom scratch built seats. As I say, it's not perfect, but it gives it a little bit more life. Okay folks, this is the next section I'm working on. Is these two segments go together and they make up the floor. So simple as literally like that. This makes up the floor section, which sits inside the fuselage half, which sits in here, which will go in there. Plus I've also sandwiched all the wings together now, and it's all glued up. And I have gone ahead and put the fuselage half together. So there's what you basically see for inside the cockpit, with my makeshift seats, seat belts, They come out okay. They're not perfect, but it gives it a little bit more character than having nothing at all. But I've still got to paint around the gun sight, and then once it's all ready, this could be sandwiched on top of here, and that gives you a rough idea of what the airplane is. It's quite a small plane, so I'm going to go ahead and do this flooring, paint it up, and then sandwich the cockpit and fuselage half and wings all together. So I'm going to do this floor now. Okay folks, these sections make up propeller system, engine and stuff like that. This is what you get for a basic engine. Not a lot. It details okay for what the kit is. Nothing on the back hardly, so what we'll do is we'll paint this silver, do the black lines, which are the support rods I think on the engine, I'm not 100% sure. Do the cables in some other colour possibly, and then give it a Tamiya black wash, which does all that. Here's your spinner, propeller, and then this segment that goes at the back. So here's the pin that goes at the back of the airplane propeller system. This piece goes over the front, and you've got your, I don't know what you call that, the centre piece of the engine, and then you've got your back of your propeller hub, and then your propeller gets put into here. It's got 3 pins which slot into the 3 holes, which clamps it into place, and your hub, spinner hub, will go over it. So it will look like this assembly. If you don't glue the pin in, it'll allow for the propeller to spin around. So we're going to go ahead and paint these sections and then put this together and show you what that looks like. Okay folks, this is what the airplane looks like with the wings on and stuff. I've got to put the engine in and the front cowl in, put the canopy on, mask it up, and it'll be ready for paint. The wheels are all done, propeller's all done. I've got to paint the hub, which is the RF green, and obviously the camouflage is RF green and RF dark earth. Yeah, the landing gear is put together and that's ready for paint. The small drag wheel on the back is ready. I'm going to do some of this now and then show you what that looks like. Okay folks, I've got a hand done the canopy mask from the kit. Quite tricky this. The worst one is on the bottom because they're really tiny for the windows. So we're going to go ahead and mask up the front engine cowling and the inside, so we're going to be ready for spray. Also gone ahead and done the propeller. This was quite tricky to get the half and half. The undercarriage is all done in silver and chrome. Chrome for the rods and not piston suspension pieces, and the rest of it's chrome. This is going to be the same colour as the underside, which is this sky grey colour, or duck egg green, or sky green, whatever you want to call it. Basically it's this colour from Tamiya, FX21. And then the camouflage, which is dark green and dark earth. Okay folks, just a little trick or tip if you're not too sure already. If you want to paint the inside of your canopies the same colour as the cockpit colour or interior colour, paint the outside of the canopy the interior colour first, and paint on top your camouflage or whatever, and then if you look inside from the angles, it would look like the canopy's been painted the interior colour on the inside when it's not, because it's done on the outside, because the outside's clear, so you'll be able to see through it. If you're wondering what these black pieces are, it's pans of putty, this stuff. So this is what I use for filling gaps, and you can use for doing hard line camouflage like you see on the tank. This is what I will be using for the camouflage as well on top of the wings. So I'm going to do this technique now by painting this canopy the interior green, and then when you do the colour foliage on top and the green on the bottom, it will, when you look through the glass, it looks like the inside of the canopy is green as well. Okay, this is done now on the green. Next step, I'm going to use black. I'm going to do pre-shading, so black lines all over the panels, and then your camouflage goes on top and it gives it depth, and then when you come to do your washes, it makes it all blend in and it makes it look grimy and worn up and beat up and stuff. It all blends in nicely. So we're going to do pre-shading panels now. Okay folks, we've gone ahead and finished off the sky colour now, which is this one. The other side is going to be black, because it's the half and half, which is these colours. Okay folks, there's the half and half on the bottom side. I'm going to let this black dry and then we're ready on the camouflage. Okay folks, I want to talk about this part on the aircraft art. I've done some research and the Tamiya decals are slightly wrong. This stripe they have on the aircraft. On Tamiya decals they're like this grey-green colour. To my research, this stripe is actually the same colour as the underside. So that stripe is the same colour as this. If you look at Vallejo's colour sheet, they've got it correct. So what I'm going to do is do this stripe in the same colour as the underside of the aircraft. According to my research, that's how the colour was done. Tamiya's decals are slightly wrong, so the good job is I'm going to paint the stripes on anyway, so somewhere along the line this is wrong, so just a heads up slightly. Okay folks, moment of truth. I like to get this off as quickly as possible after doing the green, so be careful, it's going to still be wet. Once you've got the brown exposed, you've got a good handle on it, so I like to try and get this stuff off as quickly as possible, same as when I'm doing masking. The moment I finish spraying mask, I like to get the mask off as soon as possible because it can have a reaction with the paint and or seep under or eat into your undercoat. Or so the moment the moment this is done, I like to get it off quickly as possible. And you can see it gives you a nice hard edge. This Panzer putty, it's good stuff. Can be a bit of a mess sometimes trying to get it all off. This can all come off now as well. Okay folks, there you go. There's what the camouflage looks like with the Panzer putty. It's good stuff. You want to check it out and try it. It gives you a nice, not a hard line, but not a feathered line either. It's an in-between, so it's perfect for doing British camouflage because their tone between the two is not feathered and it's not hard. It's I don't know how to explain it. It's just in between, so it comes out perfectly for say English camouflage. So next step now is to clear coat this bad boy, and then ready for decals and stuff. Voila! This is my finished product. My finished Buffalo from Tamiya, 1/48 scale. This is finished now. Couple of issues. The canopy has a slight fit issue at the front, which is minor. The landing gear has a slight issue with the two. They're like, I think they're the actuator pieces. There's no way in the instructions it tells you where they actually need to line up. It's not actually the landing gear itself, it's just the instructions. It's pretty good for the age of the kit. It's not perfect in any standard, but it's the best I can do with the kit. I've done it not beat up or anything or overly grimy. It's just like you see today. It's like in flying condition basically. It's like it's okay. It's in good condition. So there's no aftermarket in this. This is straight out of the box. I tried to make my own seat belts. They come out okay by using tape and some links from a chain. It wasn't the best idea. After putting the canopy in it and now look, thinking about it, I think I'd just better off just leaving this seat blank. But there's nothing I can do now. It's all buttoned up, so I'm just going to run with it. Would I build this kit again? Actually, no, I wouldn't, because it was a little bit trickier than I thought. It wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be, and looking at the parts you think, oh, it's quite an easy build, quite simple. There is a couple of things that's a little bit more trickier. I wouldn't recommend this for a beginner because of the slight issues with the canopy and landing gear situation, but a little bit skill behind you should be alright. But I wouldn't do this kit again. I don't know, it's one of those, they need to bring out a new version and I think it'll be alright, but because it's a little bit older it's not quite there. But I'd recommend you to try it, but I wouldn't build another one. So yeah, this is my finished Buffalo. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you later.